Hi folks, you're with us today. Tastus today, your pushback channel, and thank you for joining this audio live stream. In this essay, I'd like to talk about sort of professional hustler, grifter, Jewish organisation activism. I probably wouldn't have noticed this if I hadn't, or even thought about it for that matter, if I hadn't noticed how heavily Jewish activists are overrepresented in every area of clamoring and demanding societal change, but societal change for Gentiles, not for Jews. Why is it that in a committee or a group of 6 people agitating for change in how the family structure should operate, for example, why are 6 of them Jews, and why are they all women? Why are 4 of them lesbians? And that sort of thing. Why are Jews overrepresented in every single area of this pushing for social change? And I noticed this again more by accident. Reading newspaper articles and things like that, magazine articles, and just noticing, hold on a minute, why is everyone here called Bergenstein? And it doesn't make sense, given that the population of, say, the United States Jewish population is, depending on whose numbers you look at, 2%, 2.5%, and yet they represent 80-90% of the activists in any given area. So, but just coming to a few weeks ago, I saw an interview, a very, very soft and tame interview, but a very defensive, huge sort of chip on shoulder, and seemed like a very wealthy Jewish guy, for what I could tell. Certainly he was immaculately dressed. His clothes definitely weren't from Walmart, and very well groomed, perfectly presented, that sort of thing. So, and here's someone who's had money for a while, I would think, given the demeanor. He's certainly not worrying about how he's going to pay his ever-increasing electricity bill or something. But I noticed how he would turn every sort of accountability type question. Well, Mr. Stein, you've said this, but you also said that, with contradicts it. What is your actual position here, and why are you claiming to be a victim when in fact, and it's not the questioning wasn't, I would say, it was an accountability question, but how the guy dealt with that, and he managed to. I thought he was quite skillful in an activist kind of way, I suppose, but. So if that contradiction between 2 statements is, well, that's just because you're trying to say, like everyone else says, that Jews are greedy. So what you're really doing is you're just doing an anti-Semitic trope there, just like the Nazis did. And that shuts the other guy, the questioner, down sort of straight away. Now, the more determined sort of questioners go, nah, don't give me that crap, which is what they should do. But the more determined questions, well, then come up with another question, but softer. They're backpedaling. Well, you've said that. That's just what Hitler would say. Hitler would do that. So really, you're Hitler, and so, well, dismiss that one. So by doing the swastika, and my Jewish colleagues, they have to put up with Nazi slurs every day and swastikas. They have to put up with that, and they have to tolerate it. Did you know that 5 million Jews were killed just yesterday in downtown New York City? Yeah, you fucking anti-Semite. You're fucking Hitler if you even question us or you even try and hold us to account. And the guy just back, again, it was, in its way, it was quite skillful, because he could turn every utterance into even a simple thing. There was one guy, I think he was from maybe the ADL or the ACLU, and this is another interview I saw not long ago. And it was, so some people are saying that you're trying to shake down certain companies by threatening to give them negative publicity, and they can avoid this by giving I think it was the ADL, I'm not sure, giving the ADL money. And you're just saying the Jews are grasping. So you're just saying that, well, what you're saying is, and that's an anti-Semitic trope. That's all that is. And no. coming back to the question, are you shaking these guys down? Answer the question. Don't give me this don't hide behind this anti-Semitic crap. Answer the fucking question. So this guy and others were able to avoid answering the question, but turn anything that tries to hold them accountable for their behaviour, anything, they managed to turn into, that's just an anti-Semitic trope. You're just Hitler. You're just a Nazi. Where's your swastika, you fucking Nazi motherfucker? And they're able to do this with much success. And I should add, years ago, I came into JFK Airport on a business visit to New York, and I think I had to go out that night to, I think it was Boston or anyway, somewhere else. So I was only there just for the day, and I think I'd come in from Philadelphia maybe. But so I was met at the airport by a guy who, somebody from the company that I was talking business with, and he was there. He's got to be. It turns out he was a Jewish guy. He's got to be one of the angriest Jewish guys that I think I've ever met. And there's no shortage of them in New York, by the way. But he didn't seem to want to have to meet me or pick me up there. It was rather gruff, I thought. But anyway, fine. He's good enough to come and collect me. I could have taken a taxi, but so off we go, and he's shouting at almost every other driver on the road. Hey, motherfucker, welcome to the United States of America, motherfucker. Hey, motherfucker, and so on. So that was how he spoke. Welcome to the United States of America, you asshole. And anyway, he winds his window down to have a yell at some particular guy, and turns out the guy's black, and he very quickly takes offense. So when the traffic stops at the next stoplight, the black guy gets out and asks him, "Hey, buddy, you want to back that up?" And the Jewish guy was panicked his ass off. And I was just watching sort of all this and thought, as a bystander almost, or an observer, and so I wonder, why are you so angry, and why are you so intent on yelling obscenities and so on at the people out the window and giving giving the finger to people? And so what is this anger within you that expresses it this way? And he constantly said, "If anyone crosses me, I'll tear their throat out, tear their fucking throat out." And here's a guy who panicked and tried to call the police from his mobile phone because someone he abused was saying, "Hey, you want to take us any further?" In its way, it was humorous, but I kind of also felt sorry for the guy because he was so angry and so bitter and had a nice car, seemed like he was doing all right, but was so angry and bitter and yet quite prepared to accept that he was the oppressed victim, even though he was yelling obscenities at everyone else. And I didn't realise it fully at the time. I was a young guy. I didn't see the fact that he was probably quite representative of a class of people, Jewish people in New York and maybe in North America as well. Coming back to the issue of activism, the similarity between the Jewish view that there's Nazis and fascists everywhere, and that the Jewish person can't even walk around the block without having a million swastikas thrown at them and this sort of thing. This is obviously quite absurd, but it's almost, in architectural terms and word for word, almost the same as the globalist rhetoric about white supremacists are everywhere. And the white supremacists coincidentally happen to be Nazis and happen to very conveniently be carrying swastikas around them, again, freshly taken out of the pack. Carry swastikas around, just ready for the media to photograph. The similarity of the two is now the objectives of the two, like Jewish activists, or the ones that have been taken on board by the globalists and the globalist machine are very similar. This for the Jewish perspective, this idea is that if the Gentile society is completely crushed and broken, it never again will represent a threat to Jews anywhere, and that's, as they would see it, an attractive proposition, particularly given their education system has a heavy emphasis on, well, we've been persecuted for centuries for not doing anything that is jealous, that's all, or envious, that sort of thing. So we really need to, I think, look at this activism and say, no. If you want other people to be accountable, if you want these so-called white supremacists to be given rigorous grilling and interviewing and questioning, then you should be subject to the same. And it's quite reasonable if people ask these questions, and it's quite reasonable if you're accountable for your behaviour just as much as you expect others to be accountable. But it's a one-way street. No, we're not accountable because we're the good guys. They're accountable because they're the Nazis. Don't you get it, you moron? And that sort of thinking. No. You're accountable as much as they are. And if your behaviour is bad, it should be called out. That doesn't have anything to do with the Holocaust or this or that or swastikas that you like to wave around all the time. Every time the accountability was there, the immediate go-to was, you're a Nazi. Where's your swastika, you fascist? That's the immediate go-to. And that has to be, no. That's not going to have an effect anymore. That's not going to work. Like the globalists calling everyone a racist or a bigot or something like that. No. Those days are over, and we've got to make sure it is over. You've been with Tacitus today, your Pushback channel. Thank you for listening.